These are good. Now, with Black Bond's last video, still just so why he is the master of sidestepping. Now, some of you may have watched that video and thought, damn, you might have finally got that man. But in true Black Bond fashion, he never tells the whole story. And I kind of feel bad for him because I can tell that he was working on that video for a long time. And I'm about to destroy that video pretty effortlessly, as I always do. So, get yourself a snack, because it's about to be funny.
And I'm going to expose you for the fraud that you are once and for all. And not just as a professional fraud, but as a personal fraud as well.
Wii U is going to have the definitive version of all your favorite games.
Now, Black Bond likes to use that quote in pretty much every video he does about me. You know, all 45 of them. And the funny thing is, at the time I made that quote, it was dead on. At the time I made that quote, it was over 2 years ago. At the time I made that quote is after EA had pledged unprecedented support when third parties were saying that their versions of games would be a lot better on the Wii U. So excuse me for stating the obvious, or at least what was obvious at that time. It's not my fault third parties dropped the ball. It's not my fault EA got butthurt. But the funny thing is, Black Bond himself said something similar a while back. Now notice, back then, Black Bond never made a video making fun of what I was saying there about the definitive versions. Why? It's because back then he believed the exact same thing. So then he claims that I said that Digital Foundry was incredible. Which is funny because I never said that. As a matter of fact, I said this. It's from a site, you may have heard of it. It's called Eurogamer.net, Digital Foundry. They're pretty much the most reliable source when it comes to comparing graphics on different versions of games, and have been for years. Now see, what happened there with Black Bond is what always happens with Black Bond. He's always trying to get you to say something that you really didn't say. If they're the same thing, graphics and visuals are interchangeable, so how would that change my statement? You said that frame rate has nothing to do...
Your statement, then you agree that graphics equal frame rate, but you're saying...
That's not what I said. I said that frame rate is part of visuals, part of graphics. So you're
saying graphics equals frame rate.
Are you retarded? See what I mean? You see, because I said that Digital Foundry kind of overblew the frame rate issues in the Wii U version of Batman, he said that that meant I was saying that Digital Foundry was not credible. But I never said that. I said that they overblew the issues in that game. And that's all I said. But in true Black Bond fashion, he hears only what he wants to hear. Now, both of the people that made video responses to my video tried to make it seem like I was saying that the PC offered no visual advantage over consoles. But that's not what I said. Black Bond likes to bring up a comment that I made on a Digital Foundry comparison with Crysis 3 between the PC and console. But what I actually said was based on that comparison, that there wasn't a huge difference between the PC version of Crysis 3 on the PC and consoles at 720p. At 720p. I said that at 720p, it didn't look like there was that big of a difference. And if you go watch the video, there ain't that big of a difference. I didn't say anything about how it looks at 1080p, how it looks at 1080p 60 frames per second. Of course, it looks better at 1080p and 60 frames per second. The reason why I brought up Digital Foundry as a source is because that's the source that Black Bond always likes to use. So now I'm going to show you an example of how Black Bond loves to use half-truths. Then they say, you can't compare graphics on YouTube because YouTube compresses the image, giving you less quality. But the funny thing is, the hilarious thing is that notice how he purposely left this part out. So then they say, you can't compare graphics on YouTube because YouTube compresses the image, giving you less quality. Which is true, but please tell me where I argued that it did not. Exactly. Alright, now I said on my video that some of these graphics comparisons online were getting kind of stupid because most of them you couldn't even tell a freaking big difference between each version, which is why I said they were getting ridiculous. Now, Black Bond uses footage of me saying this exact thing, but it still doesn't freaking register in his brain. Take a look. Graphics comparisons online were getting a little bit out of hand because you would see comparisons of games that pretty much looked identical, but then you had the fanboys coming out, oh, that looks way better than that, oh my gosh, that looks, it destroys it, when they look pretty much the same. So clearly you hear me say there that the reason why I thought these comparisons were getting out of hand is because you couldn't really tell the difference between what they were comparing. So this idiot uses footage from me showing the comparison from Need for Speed on the 360 to the Wii U. Now, does that look the same to you? The reason I did that comparison is because there was a drastic difference. God, you're retarded. So please enlighten me on why these same exact people have benchmarks for their PC games showing what their hardware specs are for their PC, running games at max settings on YouTube. So please enlighten me on why these same exact people have benchmarks for their PC games showing what their hardware specs are for their PC, running games at max settings on YouTube. So, okay, right now I want you guys to pause this video. I'm going to show you a screen cap of a video from Black Bond that was uploaded recently that shows his computer settings, that says max settings. I want you guys to all watch that video right now and please tell me if you see any benchmarks at all in this video. Did you guys see any? No? No? Me either. Exactly.
Alright, now this is obviously injustice. Now in my video I stated a lot of the times when you record a console footage, console gameplay through a capture device and you upload it to YouTube, sometimes, often, it actually makes the video look better because it hides graphical infidelities. Now, I'm going to prove that to you. Now, if you look at the game, this is how it would look, obviously, on YouTube, because you're watching it on YouTube. If you look at those buildings, the top of those buildings look a lot smoother. Now, don't worry, I'll even zoom in on the buildings. Now, this is zoomed in on the capture card footage, and you still can't see those jagged edges. And this also goes for textures. The same thing applies for textures. When you capture it through a capture card, it hides it, and when you upload it to YouTube, you still don't see it.
No. So this dude really is comparing off-screen console footage to direct feed capture card footage. Really. Really. So his whole point on that, in case you guys missed it, he was trying to say that when you put games on a capture card and upload them to YouTube, Wii U games, PlayStation 3 games, 360 games actually look better than they look on your TV because it hides the jaggies. No. First, you failed with the fact that you're comparing off-screen TV footage to direct feed internet footage. And I noticed something kind of funny there. You guys notice that when he zooms in on the console footage to find jaggies, he's all way zoomed in. He's all up in Batman. You can see what's on Batman's mind. That nigga's so close, right? So when he's like, oh, well, if you don't believe me, I'll zoom in on the capture card footage. That nigga didn't zoom in anywhere near how much he zoomed in on the TV footage. Never mind the fact that you're using a capture card with an editing program, which means who's to say you didn't edit the footage? Who's to say you didn't doctor up, no pun intended, the footage? That was a freaking fail. Have a seat.